Apartment fund, and more apartment funds. What's up, 23% Nation? Coach D is back. And ladies and gentlemen, today I want to share something with you. Recently I've discovered that when I talk to my students, particularly about their living situations, a lot of them are preoccupied with the concept of moving out. And once they move out of their parents' house, they definitely want to get their own apartments. Now, some of them are thinking about living in a one-bedroom apartment by themselves, or some of them already have plans with their best friends to move in together. That way they can be roommates and therefore lower their cost of living. So today, I, Coach D, want to talk with you about an apartment fund and just how important this financial step can be very, very important to you in the rest of your life. So without any further delay, guys, let's jump on in and talk about an apartment fund. Why do I need one? All right. So first of all, let's define what an apartment fund is all about. Well, first of all, we should know that an apartment fund is a savings account. Now, a few videos ago, I did a video about having a savings account and why it's important. And then we also discussed several different types of savings accounts. And I believe that an apartment fund or a home fund was one of the different types of savings accounts that we discussed. So, first and foremost, an apartment fund is a savings account. All right. Now, what is its purpose? Well, it's used to set aside funds so that you can then move into your brand new apartment. So whether you're going to be with roommates or whether you're going to be by yourself, an apartment fund is essential to your financial wellness. All right. So Coach D, I get it, right? I need to have an apartment fund because I need to start setting aside funds. But tell me something. What are the benefits? Because chances are, if I don't know the benefits, then you know what? I'm not going to do it. Okay, 23% Nation, I hear you. So let's discuss the benefits very carefully. Number one, and this is what we really need to understand, is that the benefit of an apartment fund is that it helps to lift your self-esteem, or we can say your self-confidence. Now, why does it do that? Well, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. Trust me, 23% Nation, as you are saving up funds, this does give you a sense of accomplishment. And once you can feel yourself getting closer and closer to your financial goal, trust me, you will begin to feel better about yourself. You will begin to think more about yourself. Hence, your self-esteem as well as your self-confidence will definitely go through the roof. As a matter of fact, you may feel like my boy here who's wearing his cape, okay, and his goggles. He appears like he is getting ready to fly. All right, tip number two. Now, in my class, I do show a documentary which happens to be called Your Life, Your Money. And in that documentary, there is an individual whose name is Michelle Singletary. And there's one quote from her that I would like to share with you today. She says that every penny ought to have a purpose. Once again, every penny ought to have a purpose. So what does she mean by that? Basically, what she's saying is that we need to create financial goals for ourselves. So when we talk about benefit number two, guys, an apartment fund will almost certainly give you financial peace of mind. So you see, whenever you have a goal, right, which means that every penny ought to have a purpose, that in itself will give you financial peace of mind. All right, benefit number three, very important. Guys, having your own apartment fund will keep you from borrowing money. That's right, guys. Coach D is here to let you know that your parents are not a bank. Okay, so borrowing from friends and family will only add stress to your life. So please, today I want you to begin reconceptualizing your thought process about saving money. As I just said, every penny ought to have a purpose. And I also just said that your parents and your friends are not your own personal bank. So by setting up your own apartment fund, that will most certainly help prevent you from borrowing money. Because I don't know about you, but when it comes to me, I don't like to borrow money because I don't like the stress of repaying it. So guys, if you don't want the stress, don't borrow the money in the first place. Benefit number 4, and this is the last one, I promise, okay? And hopefully by this time, you have now been motivated to start your own apartment fund. Guys, have you ever negotiated with your mom and your dad, or perhaps cousins, aunties, uncles, grandparents, or maybe even your friends, and maybe you were on the losing end of the negotiation conversation? Well, Coach D has some help for you today. Believe it or not, an apartment fund will definitely give you leverage when negotiating with your parents, or with your friends, or with your other family members. Listen up, guys. This is very important. You see, if you want to move out of your parents' house, and maybe, just maybe, they're willing to help you out, this is all you have to say. Say, hey, listen, hey, mom, hey, dad, I am starting an apartment fund. Now, I know how much I need to move out or move in. And then why don't you ask them to basically meet you halfway? So let's say you need $1,000, right? And let's say you've saved up 500. Well, if they can match the other 500 to then give you $1,000, then guess what? You have done very well in your negotiations. So always remember that having an apartment fund in a savings account can definitely help you negotiate with whoever you want to negotiate with. Okay, so I get it, right? It can help me negotiate. It's going to prevent me from borrowing. It's going to boost my self-esteem. Okay, I'm motivated. But now here's a big question for you, Coach D. Can I afford the place I want? Now, let's remember something, that we have to value our needs over our wants. So when we ask the question, can I afford the place I want? Really what we should be asking is, can I afford the place I need? Well, let's figure it out. When it comes to affordability for an apartment, this is something that we need to consider. Our monthly rent should be no more than 30% of our monthly income. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 30% is the guide that you want to go by. All right. This will most certainly keep you out of financial trouble and financial stress. So again, if you want to know if you can afford the rent for a particular apartment, all you have to do is take 30% of your monthly income, and if it's above whatever the monthly rate is, then check it off. Yes, you may live there. If it does not, then check no, you may not live there. Okay? But always go by that financial guiding rule that your monthly rent should be no more than 30% of your monthly income. Okay, so now how in the world do I figure this out? Well, again, Coach D is here to help. So check it out, guys. Let's figure it out. All right, so let's say that you have a monthly income of, let's say, $3,000. Okay, now that we figured that out, all right. Now, all we have to do is multiply zero point 0.3, which is equivalent to 30%, by $3,000. And that should give you $900. So you see, guys, by taking 30% of 3,000, we get $900. And guess what? That is your top limit for rent. Now, of course, if you make more than $3,000 per month, then yes, you can afford to live in a place that's more than $900. If you make less than $3,000 per month, then obviously your rent should be less than $900 per month. Okay? So allow me to say this. If you want to risk getting into an apartment that is more than 30% of your monthly take-home pay, then you, my friend, are setting yourself up for a lot of trouble. So please, please, please stick to that financial guide that your monthly rent should be no more than 30% of your monthly income. I hope that helps you out. All right. So Coach D, I get it, right? No more than 30% of my monthly income. Cool. So how much do I totally need? Well, let's figure it out. Now, most apartment complexes will require a deposit. That's right, guys. And normally that deposit consists of 3 charges. Charge number 1 will be your security deposit, which, by the way, is probably equivalent to 1 month's rent. They will also charge you your first month and your last month. So basically that means that you're going to have at least 3 months worth of rent already saved up, and that's just to move in, you see? So if your rent is going to be $900 per month, then your deposit will probably total around $2,700 per month. Now, for some people, that may be a drop in the bucket. For others, that figure may be a little daunting, okay? But guys, don't worry, because again, Coach D is here to help you out. And if you don't have the money, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get it. All right, so please continue to watch. All right, now the $2,700, guys, that's just to get you moved into your brand new apartment. All right, but believe it or not, there are other costs that are involved. Okay, all right, so Coach D, $2,700, that's already a lot of money. Now you're telling me that I need more money? Oh yes, Coach D is definitely telling you that. Now here are some other expenses that you may want to factor in upon day 1 when moving in. Guys, chances are you'll need a truck, right? So maybe it could come from U-Haul. So let's go ahead and factor that in. You obviously will need furniture. You're going to need a bed. You're going to need a sofa. You're going to need some items for your kitchen. You're going to need items for your bathroom. Okay? So factor in furniture costs. You'll also probably have to get your utilities turned on, such as your lights. Okay? Need those. That's very important. And there also may be some miscellaneous bills, such as your cable, your internet, and maybe water. Who knows? All right. So let's try to have an additional $1,000. And that's just to take care of your other costs. Okay. So grand total to move in with no financial stress. Look at this, $3,700. Wow, that's almost $4,000. Okay. But now that you know, now you can start preparing. Okay. So we need almost $4,000 just to move in. Oh my God. So sounds like you need a plan. All right. Remember, Coach D is here to help you out. So here we go. Guys, remember the golden rule of saving is always 10%. That's right. So if we look at your daily pay, your weekly pay, your bi-weekly pay, your monthly pay, all we have to do is set aside just 10% of our earnings. And you know where that 10% is going to go? You got it. It's going to go in your apartment fund. That's all. You see? So this is your plan, my friends. All you have to do is begin saving at least 10%. Now, if you want and if you can afford, you can go above 10%. But please, please, please do not oversave and definitely do not undersave, okay? But always remember the golden rule is 10% of your monthly or bi-weekly take-home income. All right, so Coach D, I get it. 10% is the golden rule. Cool. But now where do I put this money? All right, I want to make sure it's safe. I want to make sure it's there when I need it. All right, perfect. Now there are several places where you can keep your apartment fund. Number one, perhaps you want to open up an online savings account. The reason why I say online is because online savings accounts lately are offering better interest rates than a traditional savings account. Next up, we could go open up a savings account at a credit union, okay? A credit union may have very competitive rates compared to your current bank. We could do cash in the lockbox. Now, Coach D really doesn't like cash laying around the house for a few reasons. Number one, you'll have easy access to the money, and the easier the access, the easier it is for you to spend, okay? Also, if some unsavory characters find out about your cash box, then it may end up missing. So that's not something that we want. We could do a money market account or perhaps a short-term CD. Now, if you're going to do the latter two, then you really need to start planning your move out progression. The reason is because a short-term CD is probably going to last you for about 6 months. So you'll need to plan accordingly. That way you'll have the money exactly when you need it. Okay? Great. All right, so Coach D, I get it. I'm convinced. I'm going to start today, right? But what do you think? Okay? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Coach D is here to let you know that he loves the idea of an apartment fund. Okay? It's something that I once did. All right? So if it helped me, it can definitely help you out. And let's remember this. That day 2 of the 23% challenge is money day, you see? So whether we're in the month of July, June, August, September, November, October, it really doesn't matter. What does matter is that you get your financial life in shape today. So if you want, you can wait until the next money day, right? Or we can start today or latest tomorrow. But whatever the case may be, please start ASAP, okay? But again, Money Day is the day that will probably be ideal for you to go to a bank or to a credit union or go online to open up that brand new apartment fund. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach D wants to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. Please subscribe and please, please, please write a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. All right. Now, to help you write that comment right, I got a question for you. Today's question of the day is, are you ready for this? How much money needs to be in your apartment fund, right? We need to know, ladies and gentlemen, how much money needs to be in your apartment fund. So first up, remember, is to figure out how much money do you have coming in the door every month. Step 2, let's take 30% of that total to determine what we can comfortably afford every month in rent. And then step 3, well, we got to start saving, okay? So all I'm asking you to do today is to simply figure out how much money needs to be in your apartment fund. And then from there, we can take the necessary steps to have financial wellness, financial peace of mind, and greater financial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that I have for you today. I want to wish you well. I want to wish you many blessings. And always remember, Coach D loves you.